Hi everyone, and welcome to card number 5 of my Christmas card series. I decided I wanted to do something a little bit different. No coloring, no stamping, just about anything else you can do card-wise. So we're going to be making a card, and it's going to be an odd colored card for a Christmas card, but it's going to be black. This card is... I put my stuff away. Just give me 1 second to pull it up. It is a Recollections pre-scored card, and it is a 5 by 6.5 inch card. I'd seen other Christmas cards where they were doing black and white snowflakes, and I thought I didn't want to do a black and white snowflakes, but I did kind of like the idea of black, so I thought I would do it in a cardstock. So we're going to go ahead and get started. But first first we are going to assemble our snowman. I just used several different things. I used my Spellbinders large standard circles, and then just kind of played around with the sizes to see which ones I wanted. I actually used, I went through, and instead of being starting with this circle and then going to the next size, I skipped a size in between each just to get to the right sizes to make it look like a snowman. I used just some scrap cardstock as just some white, and then I wanted it to be a little bit thicker and a little stronger, so I thought what I was cutting out was 2 pieces of white, but it turns out that the other one is kind of this silvery, shimmery white, which I thought looked really cool, because then it's to me it looks a little more snowman-like. So I did that for all 3 circles, and then I just cut out his little arms here, and the rest of his and a face, all using scrap cardstock. So I'm just going to stick everything together with my glue gun, or my tape runner. Now, the circle doesn't have to be perfect. The illusion is that you're looking down on the snowman, but it doesn't have to be perfectly centered or anything. I'm trying very hard not to lose all my pieces. I want these to stick down, but I'm not trying to cover them completely. That looks good. Now, this is going to go on a card base, but I wanted to assemble the snowman first and then show you the next steps. I lost my... There it is. For the eyes, I actually used a EK Success daisy chain punch, and then these are just the little centers of that daisy chain. So, because I didn't have a punch small enough, and I thought those would work really well. And now I just have to kind of decide. I think I'm just going to go ahead and stick them down with my Martha Stewart pen here. And I'm just going to go ahead and put the glue on the dot as opposed to on the paper. Now you can use your glossy accents or anything else. I just decided to go ahead with this. Now, because these are smaller, I'm going to use the other end of my quick stick here to get them down in there. And ideally I probably should have positioned this on first, but that's okay. Not a big deal. Alright, I think that should be enough. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it here to see about where I want it to be. Yeah, those look like evenly spaced. Oops, well they did until I moved it. There we go. Alright, this should stick down. Now for his nose, I just did just took a piece of orangey yellow cardstock and cut into a triangle to look a little more carrot-like, but actually this might be a little bit too big. Let's see here. And then for his mouth, I took the smallest punch I had, which was a 1/2 inch circle, and I cut it out, and then I just went and cut out a little bit more of a dip. I had it where I just cut it in half, but it didn't look right, so I did more of a dip so that it looked more like a smile. And I'm not, staticky today. The weather today was just, it was a little warmer than it has been, so everything, hair, clothes, just beyond staticky. So everything is sticking. I do plan to do some embossing, so I made sure to grab out my my embossing buddy. I'm just trying to decide, okay, where I want his mouth, and then I'm just going to, I just need another, nope, I need something else so that I can hold on to the mouth and move the nose without, there we go, that should work. I think I kind of want his nose pointed off to the side, but again, I think that's too big, so let's go ahead and trim that down just a smidgen here. Give me just a second. I'd rather his mouth stand out than his nose. That looks a little bit better. Yeah, I think that works. Okay, so we're just going to turn his nose just, well, we would turn his nose if his nose would cooperate. There we go. Bring it down just a little. And then move his mouth. Yeah, I think that works. So we're going to go ahead and do his nose first. I'm actually about ready to give up on these Martha Stewart glue sticks, or glue pens, because they keep leaking and I just can't get the glue to come out right. Now his nose is just a little too crooked. There we go. And now his mouth. These are a little bit bigger, so I figured the tweezers would be just fine. And we're going to bring that up just a little bit higher. More touching the nose, so it almost looks like the nose is over it and sticking out like a... Okay, so far so good, right? Now, with his arms, I decided to, because I have the two pieces of paper, I didn't like it on top, because then it just, I mean, almost looked like it was coming out of his ears, but I didn't quite like it underneath either. So I decided to take the two pieces of paper and put it in between, because then to me it looks more like it's inside the second circle, you know, like in his body, as opposed to under it or above it. So we're just gonna fold that back, pull this out, and I didn't, as much as I'd love to take credit for it, I did not See, now my pen doesn't want to work. Give me just a second. I need to find a piece of scratch paper. And clean this off. I think that works. Let's see. Okay. And we're just gonna slide his arm in there. So I was looking, I couldn't freehand snowman arms if I wanted to. So I went online to find some, and I just printed out a coloring book page and then cut the pieces out and then just traced it. So the other arm does not have to go, I'm just going to turn this way, in any particular spot. I know snowman is perfect. I'm just going to slide that in. And if you want to go as even as you can, go for it, otherwise, you know. And there we go. There's our snowman. And then you don't have to worry about gluing his arms down if you don't want to. Totally up to you. Or, in this case, up to me, and I choose not to. Okay, so we're going to set him aside just to give him, and we're going to put the stamp block on him just to really make sure that that glue sticks. Okay, now for the snow. So I have this paper from hot off the presses, and it's called Blue Snowflake. And I just thought it was really pretty, and it would cover up most of the black on the front of the card, which I was okay with. I actually cut it so that hopefully there would be a border, but I think it actually hangs over a little bit. And I hope you can see it, but it's not so much shiny, but it's slick. So, and I'll show you here on my scratch, I use the back side of it to test. You can see that the ink smudges when it was wet. So I decided I'd go ahead and heat emboss it. So because it allows the ink to sit on the surface, you can use just about any ink. The one that I found that got the best results was my Memento Tuxedo Black. So I just decided to go over it with a clear embossing, and I'm going to be using Hampton Arts clear embossing powder. But before I do that, I need to find placement for my snowflakes. Some of these snowflakes are from Martha Stewart's snowflake, not border punch, but garland punch. So this, and then I just cut off some of the ends, and then the rest of them are from an EK Success punch, border punch, that does this, and then I just used all the inserts, or inserts. And then what I like to do is get them all in my hand without losing any off the table. There's that static thing again. And then just take it and just kind of let them fall. And then the ones that kind of clump on each other, just move them around, maybe. There we go. And then I will get where I want the snowflakes. So I wanted some snowflakes to look like it was falling. That's why we have several different sizes here, but they're not going to go, you know, like large to smallest. We're just going to try and not put the same snowflakes around each other too much. Or the same sizes, I should say. And we're just going to kind of play with it until we decide we like it. The little ones, I'm not worried about them being right next to each other because, again, they are tiny. And we're going to take our snowman and put him down here and kind of decide think we're going to have him go like this. So, although I don't mind, he's got a little bit of glue on his hand. Although I don't mind that snowflake being right there, I think we're going to go ahead and just kind of shift things around. Let's see, let's take this one here. And the whole page doesn't have to be filled up. That's why I use this blue snowflake paper. So I could still put some snowflakes on there, but not have to, you know, really overload it with too much. So I think that looks good. Now, the tricky part is going to be to stamp and then heat emboss. Because it's staticky tonight, I'm going to use my embossing buddy, and since I have an idea of where my snowflakes are, I'm going to stamp this particular sentiment, which says "Let It Snow." It's from Amy R's Amy R. Christmas Sentiments 2 stamp set. I'm going to stamp it a couple of times. So it'll say, "Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow." And I just have to decide where I want to do it. So I think I'm going to put one here. And they're not necessarily going to be straight. And then maybe one right there, and then one down here. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay. So we're going to leave the snowman, but we're going to have to take all the snowflakes off after I just arranged it. But I've got an idea of how I want it to look. And we're going to leave these ones here because I'm going to use them to judge where I want. So I'm just going to take my embossing buddy here. And oops. Okay, well maybe that's not working. So we'll just take all the snowflakes off and start again. But I have an idea of where I want. And I want to make sure that none of it sticks. I would like the ink to stick. But I know that I need him here. Okay. Now the memento, I thought it worked well just because it didn't, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, it didn't smudge on its own. But like I tried my Brilliance, but it didn't seem to come out. It just tried to outline everything, and it just didn't look right. So we'll go one there. I think we might do this a couple of times, because that's a really big gap right up there. So let's do one like that. And then one more. So it almost looks like the word, the sentiment is snowing. We'll do this guy over here. Oh, well, that one smudged a little. That's okay. I think that's good. So now we're going to take our snowman off so we don't get him. And then we're just going to shake just a little bit on. Just let it sit there for just a second. Now, I have found, and I don't have, I have found that my powder or my embossing doesn't always work. So I don't know if this particular one happens to be the brand or this particular brand, or I don't know. I just figured out how to finally do it. But this one turned out really nice. But I found that it sticks to my paper underneath. So I also take my embossing buddy and do a quick thing on there so that my powder doesn't stick to that as well, because I do like to clean it up before I try to emboss. So there's a little bit, let's Let's see if I can't get some of that off. I do blow on it just a little bit. And I don't mind if some shows up because it is clear, so it's only going to, I mean, even if it was white, it's only going to help. I mean, it's not going to do any harm. If this was going straight on black, wouldn't care. If I was doing something else with it, then I would be a little more worried that it was all showing. Close that up. And we're just going to take the heat gun here real quick. I'm going to do this kind of off to the side here so I don't make a mess. And just heat that up. Oh. And I like to let my heat gun heat up for just a little bit before I stick it to it, especially since it's a different kind of paper. Now I did find with this that it doesn't, oh, it wrote my paper a little more than it did last time. It doesn't come out as black as I wanted it to. I have it on here where it does, but again, that's probably because it's on the white side. But I kind of like the way it looks. It almost looks, well, like snow. So we're just going to take our snowflakes, kind of put them back where we had them. But now that I have the words on there, I can place things in a little bit different if I so desire, but we'll just see. These little ones are driving me nuts. They don't want to come up. And then we're just going to take, I think since we're doing it on this, I think we're just going to take a little bit of glossy accents and use that. So hopefully the paper, we'll be able to get the paper to lay flat on the card front itself. That really worked, and it was not supposed to work like that. Yeah, I think that works. Yeah, looks good. Okay, so let's dig out the glossy accents here. I keep mine up on my little tool caddy thing, just because it's a little bit simpler. This one is upside down, so we're just going to put a little bit of glossy accents right on the back. I'm not worried about it. That was a bit much, but I'm not too worried about. I'd rather it smoosh under and hold than not at all. Oop, let's put that back on. I like keeping that side of the tool out. So the inspiration for this card actually came from a card, I believe it was, could have been a tag that I saw online when I was looking around for Christmas cards. Kind of not so much layouts, just, you know, ideas, help get the Christmassy mojo flowing. 'Cause I'm a big, I'm kind of against, I'm not against Christmas, I'm against holiday decorations coming out way early. Like, I don't particularly like seeing school supplies come out before school is even, you know, school's just gotten out and already we've got school supplies out, and you know, school's just started and we've already got Christmas decorations out, and it's like, wow, guys, let's just, yeah. And I know why the stores do it. I just I don't know, it's like, I also don't like hearing Christmas music before Halloween. Not a big fan of it before Thanksgiving, but I mean, that's depending on how far in advance it is. It's not too bad in comparison. But there's just something about ooh. Actually, that one works right there. Let's go ahead and leave that there. About Christmas, you know, I mean, holidays just showing up, because like the second Christmas is over, we're going to be seeing Valentine's Day stuff, and well, even before Christmas is over, stuff like that. So it's just kind of, it's not so much a pet peeve. I know why the stores do it. I mean, I shop all year long. Because for me, as soon as Christmas is over, I don't return stuff. I wait actually a couple of weeks before I have to return anything, because that's ridiculous. Just masses of people. But I also, but once the stuff, you know, like all the stuff that didn't sell for Christmas starts to go on sale, and in the clearance section, I'm buying stuff up for birthdays. Because if I can make my life simpler, I do. So I will start buying right after Christmas for my youngest and my oldest. Even when I'm out Christmas shopping, sometimes the stuff I buy them for Christmas doesn't show up until their birthday. Just because, well, they've got quite a few grandparents and great-grandparents. So I don't mind giving my kids stuff, but they get quite a bit. Quite a bit for Christmas. Okay, just a couple more here. It's a little more tedious than I thought it would be. This one I think can go over here. Sounds like somebody outside is having a party. I think I only have one sheet of this snow paper, and I'm kind of bummed because I don't know if I can find it, because it's fun. I think it just, yeah, we'll put that one right there. Alright, let's get these last couple on. Well, that worked. That one may not have enough. Again, the glossy accents will just dry clear and kind of glossy, so it'll just help with the whole snow look. Last one. And to make sure it's the last one, we'll put you right there. I'm going to pick up the paper. Okay. Excuse me for just 1 second. I think I hear my youngest crying. Okay, turned out to just be people outside. So, okay, so we've got the outside of the card all done. I'm just going to set that aside. Whoop. No, we didn't. My bad. I'm going to stick him on. We're just going to use just the ATG gun. To stick him on. Nothing real fancy about that. And we're just going to turn him just like that. Now we're going to set this aside. Let that dry. Put the accents back. I'm going to move the paper. No, we're not. No, we're not. Almost forgot. Okay. So I just used the largest of the circle die to die cut another circle for the inside on the shiny, someplace for the sentiment to be written. And we're going to use a piece of the leftover here in the center. We're just going to line that up. And we're going to take, actually first we're going to clean off our stamp here just because Memento doesn't seem to stain my stamps, but I don't want it to, just because it does seem to come off easily. And all I'm just using at the moment is a clear stamp cleaner dauber and then a dry baby wipe that I've used today, trying to get this to work, to just blot it dry. I'm going to take the stamp press, and then we're just going to use this sentiment, which is also from Amy R., but this is from her Christmas card versus 2. And there it is. This is supposed to be a short video. I do apologize. But I wanted to do a couple of real time, and since I can't edit, because I don't know how, we're just going to do it this way. So, we're just going to line the paper up to get an idea of where we want this. Make sure that it is right side up. And we're going to just stamp it down. And again, I didn't go over it with my embossing buddy like I should. That's okay. I'm just going to take the embossing powder and then just shake the rest of this off. Flick it, trying to flick as much as I can off, because I don't want the words to jumble together. Okay, here we go. And we're just gonna go ahead and heat emboss this again. Going to clean up our embossing powder real quick. Since I know how well this one seems to emboss, I'll probably go ahead and put this in a bigger container. I just don't have room. And then I shake off whatever's left on the paper. Move that. Okay. So this one didn't quite come out as dark as I was hoping, which is a bit of a bummer, but it is smaller. And this just says, "May the simple joys of the season be yours." So now we're going to take our cardstock here and we're going to fold it just so we can really see that crease. Then we're going to take our ATG gun and getting as close to the edge as I can. It truly isn't too hard, just keeping the paper straight. There we go. got a little bit of embossing powder on me. And I got some glue that went over the edges, and I'll just tuck that down. Yep, there we go. Line it right up into the center. And squish that down really good. Now, if I had tested this out like I should have, by putting it on there, I would have known it wouldn't have come out so well. But you can still see it. I think it just gives, I think it's just a little bit of an extra oomph on the card. Besides, you know, it's a snowy card and it kind of looks, you know, transparent like snow. Yeah. And then we're going to take our snowflakes here, and we're just going to put them right down the center. Now this one is a little bit longer, so I'm going to trim off the ends here, and then I'm going to take this, and we're going to go ahead, and since it's relatively detailed, or intricate, we're going to take the glossy accents and just it blocked up on me just a second. Well, it's not coming out the way it should, but there's some coming out. No, not enough. Give me just a second. I didn't plug this like I was supposed to. Let's see if I can get it unclogged. Oh, much better. Okay. I'm sure I'm off camera at this point, and I apologize. So, I think I'll show you what I'm doing here. Let's see. Hopefully this is in camera now. I'm just taking it along the side here and kind of dotting where I want the glue to be, but only as far down as I think I need to. So I know that I'm going to be trimming it off right about there, so I'm not worried about doing any farther down. And I want it to go just underneath the fold, right along the edge there. Give it a good squish down. Again, some of the glossy accents is going to seep out. I think I may have to go get some of the Tombow Mono multi-glue that everybody is using. I don't mind using my glossy accents, just good to have a good liquid on hand. And then we just cut that end off. We could save that extra for later and do the same thing on the other side. Now the other side was just a piece that I was playing around with, so I already know that I don't have to cut off very much, but I can just go ahead and put it all over the back here. This time I'll be a little more sparing with the glue. I'm really just doing this in the center spots of the glue, because the rest of the sides will be protected by the card itself, but with the holes in the center I can't very well use a glue dot. So again, I'm just going to line it up just under the fold and make sure that it is inside the card and press it down. Then we're going to go ahead and take the scissors and trim off the overhang. And there we go. Then we're going to take our circle and attach it with my glue gun. That one has run out, so I'm going to use my wider one here. And then we're going to put that just above the sentiment. So now that the paper goes all the way through, there's a nice place to write and a little bit of decoration on the inside. And then what we're going to do, just to give the snowflakes a little bit something, we're going to take the clear Wink of Stella glitter pen and just, we're not going to cover the whole snowflakes, just kind of a little bit on, you know, just a little bit. Just down kind of the center of each snowflake. Just a little something. And I wanted to do this after I glued them down, just so that way if I messed up, I wasn't, you know, my luck, I would have done all this and it would have looked awesome, and then I would have glued down the wrong side. So, I have a little bit of a Murphy's Law sometimes when it comes to this stuff, thanks to my grandmother. And the same thing on the other side. I think I'm going to have to get that to glue back down. And I decided, again, to do the black card because I really wanted all of the snowflakes to pop. And you kind of lose them on a white card. And then when I found, but doing just a black card with white snowflakes, I was like, but I kind of, like I said, I saw the snowman, thought it was really cute, didn't want to do it on craft, and knew that I wanted black in there somehow, but since my white pigment ink doesn't seem to want to stamp, I thought I'd do this, and then I do the blue paper to kind of tone down as some of the black. So there's that. Let me just fold it over. I love the Wink of Stella pens. The fact that, you know, I don't have to wait for it to dry. Actually, we're going to open it up like that so it's flat. Now we're going to take, oops, one of our snowflakes is not attached. We will attach him later. And we're going to flip this over and take the ATG gun. We're also going to take some of the glossy accents and put it on there, just because this is slick. The glue, I don't want the glue to detach. So we're just going to do just a little bit around the tape itself. That way if it oozes, it, you know, will ooze, but without going outside of the card. And then we just line it up right up against the fold. A little bit of overhang with the glue. Let's get rid of that. And we're going to take it, do it this way, so we don't mess up the snowflakes, to really smooth it out. And then again with the Wink of Stella, this time we're just going to cover a select few of the snowflakes. Doesn't have to be perfect. If I get some on the paper, I'm not too worried about it, actually. We may even go over a couple of them. Now, these small ones are from the EK Success Punch that I showed you. This one and this one, as well as this tiny one, are from a Paper Smooches snowflake die set. I think I showed in one of my haul videos. I believe I showed in one of my haul videos. Oh, I don't think this guy is attached. Not very well. So we'll just lay the glitter down. Okay, well, get this guy here too. And we'll just do all the little ones and call it good on the glitter. Oh, got that one already. And that's it. We're just going to go ahead and reattach this one because he just barely seems to be hanging on there. I really would like him to be stuck. Oops, that was a bit much. That's okay. Now I know he'll be stuck. And then I thought I had one that fell off. Oh, there he is. And then we'll attach him right there. Now because the paper warped, it doesn't want to stay sitting down super flat. So I'm going to peel that up a bit and just stick down a little bit of glossy accents all the way across there. Smush it. There we go. That should hold it down a little bit better. Yeah. And then we're just going to put some glossy accents on his eyes. Just a little bit. And then let's go ahead and do his whole face. Why not? I'll just do a little bead and then take a little chisel thing here and just kind of tap it down so there's not really, so it doesn't really bump up, but gives it just a little bit of shine. And same thing with the mouth. Just a couple of dots. And take the chisel end, just kind of smooth that out a little bit. And there you go. That is my non-coloring snowman Christmas card. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to the next card. Happy holidays, everyone.